It's a pleasure to have your company. Now, this morning, let's begin from Tamale. And 2 children have been found dead at the Kakpayili in the Tamale metropolis of the northern region. The residents suspect that the children were murdered for ritual purposes as their decomposed bodies were abandoned in a vehicle behind Malam Mada's house. According to the assemblyman for the Kakpayili electoral area, Hafiz Andani, the 2 children, both aged 3, went missing last Saturday. A search was conducted for the boys, but after 2 days of not finding them, an official complaint was made to the police. Police officer Alhaji Hafiz mentioned that some residents reported to the chief of the area that the 2 boys were last seen around Malam Mada's residence. Consequently, the chief invited the Malam to the Gumana Palace for questioning. Quote, some of the residents said they saw the children around his house before they went missing. So the chief invited him to the palace, unquote. Malam Mada denied any knowledge of the crime, and his wife also denied the allegations. We'll bring you more as the story unfolds in our subsequent bulletins. In other stories, a male adult was killed and more than 10 houses were torched in a renewed chieftaincy and land clash between 2 Kokumba factions in the Bingbani in the northeast region. Confirming the violence to Joy News, the district chief executive, Conlan Bitian, said the fighting started around midnight on Friday after unidentified armed men launched a complex attack. According to the DCE, the men had deserted the community after the violence, leaving behind women and children. He added that although police had been deployed to the area, there's still more to be done.
I think the problem started since yesterday in the morning. We wake up early dawn and we were hit with a very sad news that that particular community, Bungbani, was on fire. So I quickly called security agencies in the district and deployed them to go and see what is actually happening. Then after their calls, I called my regional minister and informed him, then called my MP, who is the same person as the parliamentary candidate for New Patriotic Party. So I informed all of them. So it was after some few times that the security officers, precisely the police commander, called me back and told me yes, they have gotten to the grounds and actually what I told them is true. Several houses have been burnt down and then all the men have left the community, leaving only the women and the children. The only people they could access were women and children. So they were able to take good care of them for the whole of yesterday. So, and this morning I deployed them back to the community to go and see what is actually happening. And when they went, they called me back that the whole community is calm. But it is just after an hour ago that we had an intelligence. We had an intelligence that men are gathering in a nearby community in the Chalpuli district called Viju. And that these men are gathering with an intention to come and attack Bungbani community. I think that is the pronouncement Honorable Minister has mentioned. But we have cautioned them and we have alerted security. I have also taken that opportunity to call my colleague in the Chalpuli district and then I've informed her that this is the intelligence we have picked on the ground to take care of this community called Juju. Otherwise, men are gathered there with an intention to come and attack the community.
From the northern belt, let me take you now to the western region, where some youth groups in Nkroful in the Elembele district of the western region have pledged to protect Adamus Resources to ensure the company continues its corporate social responsibility efforts in the area. They argue that the exceptional leadership of Ms. Angela List has been pivotal in transforming and propelling Adamus forward, emphasizing that the common interests of stakeholders must be paramount. The youth are rallying behind Angela List and Adamus Resources, highlighting the significant impact of the corporate social responsibility and leadership in the community. Our correspondent in Athalia has more in this report.
The demonstrators began their march at the Elembele District Assembly in Nkroful, proceeding through Sachin Palace and River Bromley Street before converging at the main gate of Adamus Resources. The demonstrators held placards with messages such as "Leave Angela List alone," Adamus' successes largely due to Angela List's exceptional leadership. Speaking to journalist Francis Cole Mensah, the assembly member for Nkroful emphasized the need for a peaceful atmosphere and harmony among stakeholders to sustain Adamus Resources Limited.
We want to tell the whole world to allow Madam and journalists to operate. Why am I saying this? Some few weeks ago, there was an interview, there was a demonstration here saying Adamus is not helping the youth. Madam and journalists is not helping the communities, the affected communities. It is. They are all lies. If she's given a very peaceful environment to operate, we are even going to receive more development than this. More development than this. At least we are all here, we are seeing what is going on here. When you go to all the mining companies, nobody has even employed 50% of the local people. Adamus has employed more than 60% of the local people. And I am an assemblyman who is with the SRD department. I can testify.
Chairman of the Junior Staff Union, John Kwame Eluke, also spoke to journalists, expressing the staff's desire for conducive environments to promote productivity and growth for all stakeholders, including the Nsema communities.
But so far as a Jumani and Wahana, Yazma for a Yabo by an idiot. I'm found your Biaba, the beer every year. A quantity of fossil double Jumano mine here, the double Jumano mine. In terms of leadership, in terms of social responsibilities, we are native of Enzema. If you take Kubukazo, and we don't want any Bolivia. Well, we are not family, our community, we are, you only did know, or
The demonstrators' commitment to supporting Ms. Angela List and Adamus Resources highlights the company's crucial role in the local economy and community development. Their efforts underscore a broader desire for stability, growth, and shared prosperity in the region. For Joy News, in Athalia Kwanza, Western Region.
In other stories, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment says the Ghanaian value systems introduced in the new senior high school curriculum for senior high schools, senior high technical schools and STEM schools will help in addressing the value deficit in the country. The standard-based curriculum was started in 2019 for primary schools, junior high schools, and is now being rolled out in the country's senior high schools. Now, speaking at an engagement session with the public on the secondary education curriculum, Head of Languages at NACCA, Genevieve Mensah, says the new curriculum has a pathway which is flexible and gives students the opportunity to choose subjects of their choice and not programs. Abdullah Usman's report read to you.
The main issue the new curriculum seeks to address, according to NACA, is the Ghanaian value system. The National Council for Curriculum and Assessment is courting the support of all stakeholders to make the introduction of the new curriculum in the country's senior high schools, senior high technical schools, and STEM schools a success. Genevieve Mensah is the head of languages at NACA.
At the school level, we are concentrating on formative assessment, assessing our values, our core competencies, 21st century skills. And then at the end of the day, the summative one, which is done by WAEC, will focus more on the academic work. But even that, we are moving away from recall questions, low-order questions, to critical thinking, creativity, analytical skills. And so assessment, yes, WAEC will still exist, but then the kind of question that WAEC is asking now is asking our students to think critically in the exam room to be able to answer the question. We are calling on everybody, the students, teachers, politicians, parents, opinion leaders, religious leaders, everybody to support this new curriculum to address the value issues so that Ghana will take its glory once again.
Genevieve Mensah touches on new additions into the curriculum.
What is new about this curriculum? We have pathway flexibility. Currently, students who are in the secondary schools enter with programs, for instance, science, visual arts, home and econs. And so after SHS, it's difficult for them to branch off to any other field. This time around, we said no. We have introduced a flexibility system such that we are no more selecting programs at the SHS. You select subjects. If you want to pursue science pathway, you choose your science subject. You have the opportunity to choose subjects from visual arts or business, so that when you finish and you are applying for a tertiary institution, if you are no longer interested in a visual arts program that you initially intended to do, you can branch off based on the combinations you did, branch off to do either science or home econs.
The Tufuhin of the Ogwa traditional area, Nana Kwame Edu the Sixth, shared his excitement about the introduction of the Ghanaian value systems in the new curriculum.
If the government or even the educational system take it upon themselves to systematically decide to train from basic schools the aspect of sports that the child or the youth is endowed with, by the time he reaches age 15, you see the prowess that they will bring to bear on us, and they will leave the queue, the unemployment queue, to practice sports. So for me, as a coach and as a person who thinks about the future of the youth, I believe that it's a very big area that we are neglecting. So I encourage that the people or those who are in charge should be able to put sports on a pedestal where it becomes attractive for the youth to embark on.
The National Council for Curriculum and Assessment wants the support of stakeholders for a successful implementation of the new curriculum. Abdallah Osman's report read to you.
Still on stories of education, I'll take you back to the northern region, where about 1,700 students from 6 low-fee private schools in the Nanton district of the northern region are set to benefit from ICT training following the establishment of an ICT center by the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, and its partners in the district. The IPMC Ghana is supporting by donating 21 laptops and accessories and audiovisual literacy instruction materials for the center. Now, the ICT Center, the first of its kind in the district, is expected to improve education in the area. The Deputy Mission at the U.S. Embassy, Rolf Olson, commissioned the facility at a short ceremony at Ghana.
The U.S. government, through the USAID since 2023, has supported Ghana to a total of about 140 million in education, health, agriculture, among other areas, to help enhance citizens' prospects. The commissioning of the ICT Center was the latest effort by the U.S. government to strengthen Ghana's education. Delivering a speech at the event, the Deputy Chief of Mission at the U.S. Embassy, Rolf Olson, said the ICT Center and teaching and learning materials form parts of the USAID Advancing Partnership for Improved Activity, which supports more than 200 low-key private schools to provide quality education for children in northern Ghana.
We believe every child has the right to quality education regardless of the circumstances that they find themselves in at any given moment, and that includes even in the face of humanitarian emergencies. The activity involved in this contribution today from USAID is called Advancing Partnerships for Improved Learning, APIL, which supports more than 200 low-fee private schools to provide quality education for children in communities in northern Ghana. With government and the leadership of these schools to improve education quality, increase private sector investment, and ensure that teachers receive regular professional development, training, and mentorship opportunities.
The Deputy Minister of Education, Reverend Tim Fojo, said the ministry is poised to ensure the establishment of ICT centers in both rural and urban areas.
21st century, and Ghana is poised to have 21st century learning for our learners in every part of the country, not only in the urban areas, so even in hard to reach areas, in rural areas, in difficult to access areas, the marginalized. We are poised to ensure that we establish ICT labs, where we are poised to ensure that connectivity is extended, and we are even bringing the digital learning experience to classrooms, and now we're going beyond the public schools, even to low-fee private schools.
The Director of Education and Training, IPMC Ghana, Goro Shadam, said the laptop were AI co-pilot to help make it easier for the children to learn.
This AI application will help them to work on the difficult platform where they don't know, but the laptop itself will guide them. Like the next step is to click the start button, the next step is to save the file, so they can learn by themselves with the help of the laptop.
The Northern Regional Director of Education, Hajia Katumi Nantogoma, expressed excitement about the support of the learning materials to these schools.
We are delighted for the distribution of over 43,000 teaching and learning materials to 154 low-fee private schools across 13 districts in northern Ghana. These materials, which include teaching guide, supplementary readers, people's books, and workbooks, have been precisely developed and approved by the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, NACA.
And now to some election stories. The National Peace Council has announced multiple interventions, including setting up what it refers to as a situation room to respond to election-related disputes. The council says the situation room will have members of the board of the council monitoring proceedings on the day of elections and provide interventions where necessary. Part of the broader interventions, according to its executive secretary, George Amon, will be to ensure that political parties and their presidential candidates commit to peace pact ahead of the general elections. He was speaking at the launch of the National Peace Crusade Tour at Koforidua in the Eastern region.
All our board members will be present, and they will collect data for across the country. We have analysis room where analysis of the data will be done, and if the merit responses, a decision room will take a decision, and it will take it from there. Right, after the elections, we also plan to conduct a post-election assessment. And that we have already received the funding, and we are going to do that. Bring all the political actors together to see what we didn't do well, where we did good, and where we can improve going forward. And we will do say for every constituency where trouble, we don't expect one, but where trouble will come.
And that's it for the AM News, but there's still a lot more coming your way, starting with the news review segment. Stick with us.